All right, guys, we're going to be talking about the butterfly guard. Probably one of my favorite guards to work from. Really versatile, and it's not dependent really on your body type. It works for everybody. Dan's pretty mobile in this position as well. He can attack Alex's upper body. He can attack Alex's lower body. So needless to say, we could sit here all day and talk about, literally all day, and talk about techniques, about what Dan can do from here. But I'm just going to give you guys a few options that are pretty solid and are going to work real well here. So let's first talk about how Dan's going to be able to use the butterfly to sweep. Okay, we spoke about this earlier this morning in class about how it's really important that Dan understands his hip positioning in relation to his opponent, right? So being able to scoot his hips in and try and get underneath his opponent's hips, or back out when he feels like he's about to get his guard passed or needs to reset the position, is really important. Those are some things that we'll talk about in class, in normal class though. But for now, let's look at one of our favorite grips that we use here at the school, okay? Dan's going to be looking, let's use the left arm so you could catch the camera. Dan's going to wind up swimming in for an underhook, okay? Now, when you guys catch this particular underhook that we're going to use, notice Dan gets on the shoulder, right? So what Dan's looking to get is an internal rotation of his opponent's shoulder, puts a little pressure there, breaks our opponent's posture, okay? So first thing we need is that underhook, closing the space between his chest and that shoulder, and then he's going to use his opposite hand to swim on in there, and he's going to gable grip the shoulder, okay? Now, really, really important, because you could do the gable grip one way or the other way, and it does matter, okay? This underhook arm, that thumb should be facing towards you, okay? The other hand swims in, and you'll gable grip thumb up. So one thumb's up, one thumb's down, right? And we connect our hands together. Do yourself a favor and never lace your fingers, okay? Don't make that a habit from any position, guys. We're looking at gable grips here, okay? So Dan has a strong gable grip. He connects it to his own chest, again, getting a really strong internal rotation of that shoulder. So now that he's got Alex's posture broken, he has multiple different directions he can go into, okay? Step one, we're gonna look at the sweep, okay? So this is very similar to like the gift wrap, where you can go in multiple different directions. So we take this gable grip, right? Nice and strong over the top of the shoulder. Dan's other elbow that you can't see is actually tucked underneath Alex's chin. All right, and that's actually going to be a nice strong lever when he goes to sweep Alex over. And that's an important lever, especially dealing with a bigger, heavier, stronger opponent. Okay, we need as much leverage as we can get. Okay, next thing he's going to look for is a stomp on Alex's knee. Right, now Dan's got some pretty good hip dexterity, so that may be hard for some of us. Slip that back in, right? So if you have to, just keep the grip real strong, post your feet on the floor, and just scoot your butt back a little bit. Okay, that's all. Okay, now he's got a little bit more space here that he can reach his foot to the knee. He's going to stomp that knee, fall to that side, wedge that elbow up underneath Alex's chin, and use his opposite butterfly hook to take him all the way over. Boom. All right. He lands in the mount position, and you guys can check out that mount video to know what to do from there. Okay, so again, just like we said, we're going in multiple different directions with this, okay? Let's hit that gable grip again. He swims underneath. He goes thumbs down, connects his hands together, gets a nice good shelf here, guys. Now keep in mind with that sweep, guys, your opponents are always going to be looking to post. So in order for a sweep to be effective, you got to take the post away before you go to sweep, okay? So Dan might need to hike this elbow up a little bit higher in the air just to make sure Alex's range of motion in that shoulder is kind of stuck to right out in front of him. If he goes to sweep him to the side and Alex can post his hand, that's going to be a little bit of an issue, okay? So we have to make sure we wedge that nice and high on our own shoulder, okay? One more time. Let's hit the stomp, fall to that same side hip, elbow wedge right underneath the chin, and we make our way into the mount position, okay? And you guys will see we can submit with that grip as well, which we're going to do here. So now, let's imagine as if Dan realizes that he's got a really good center of balance. So he starts to anticipate the sweep in one direction, and Alex takes his weight distribution and moves it away from the sweeping direction, okay? Once that happens, Dan's hips are free to move through this gap here. So he's going to post his foot. He's going to give me a hard shrimp out, right? And he's going to lock his knees high up on his opponent's back, high on Alex's back. So the posture is broken using both the squeeze on the knees and that strong gable grip that you're keeping around the shoulder, okay? It's going to be a little hard to see from here though, but you guys are going to keep that tension on the grip, and you're going to distance yourself by extending at the hips a little bit and finding a sweet spot of your wrist bone, okay? There's several different ways to do this technique here, guys. I like to start high, right, or start low, and then as I roll the grip, it winds up finishing a little bit higher. But either way, we're looking to get a placement of our arm right where the tricep connects to the bone. Okay, so we don't want to be right flush on the elbow, because if it slips, we're too low. We don't want to be too high because we're looking to break the joint. So Dan has his gable grip again, thumbs down. He's going to start to pull, and since the arm bar is inverted, okay, we're not looking to thrust our hips forward. This is where people make a big mistake with the inverted arm bar. So a regular arm bar, hips up, inverted to up, we go back. Okay, so Dan wants his butt to scoot backward. Okay, and as he does that, he brings his forehead to Alex as he pulls down on the grip. Go for it. Boom. So you see that little crunch? That crunch is when Alex really needed to tap there, okay? If we're really looking, guys, for a strong, clean break, sometimes it takes a little bit of rolling onto our bottom shoulder. So Dan can wind up creating space under his hips. And look, now he's got all of this range to start pulling the grip underneath his body, producing more force onto our opponent's arm. Okay? Solid. Let's restart. Okay, again, just like all these other videos, guys, we're thinking about plans A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. So if something fails, we know where we're supposed to be next. So again, we start with one grip and we branch out into multiple different directions. Dan's first option is to try and hit that sweep, okay? Alex realizes he's not gonna fall for that. He shifts his weight to the other side. So Dan just hips out because Alex gives him that space by trying to avoid the sweep, right? Now, our next option from here, he's got the gable grip, real strong, okay? It's not working out that well. Maybe he didn't get the wedge that he needed. Maybe he can't get on his hip too well. So really all Dan's gonna look to do here is shrug the shoulder and let Alex's arm pass over his head. And he's gonna sit up and take his back by getting a grip on the lat and coming right up into that turtle position, strong seatbelt. And we look to take the back from there. And you guys, again, can look into the back control video to know what to do from there, okay? So we're really just looking, boom, sweep, looking for the arm. If the arm isn't there, we can take the back, okay? Now, one thing we need to account for, guys, is not having the grip good enough to keep our opponent's posture broken, okay? So that butterfly sweep is the first option. Our opponent shifts the weight. It gives us the armbar option, okay? If we lose the armbar, we can sit up and take the back, okay? And the third and final is we're actually gonna look for a triangle choke from here. So Alex doesn't think about driving or shifting his weight. He's thinking about posting his hand and trying to posture and rip his arm out. So Dan takes the gable grip, right? He goes for the sweep. Alex changed his weight distribution. So Dan can now shrimp out to the side. Yep, same thing as before. Staying nice and strong here, okay? And now once we get here, Alex he's broken down. He's got a lot of pressure on his shoulder. He's got his hand posted on the mat, and he's trying to push off that hand on the mat, right? And rip his arm free, okay? So before that arm gets free and that hand is posted, Dan's bottom leg is gonna wind up slipping over Alex's far shoulder, okay? And then we make our way right into the triangle choke, okay? We can get in a little bit more detail on how to properly finish the triangle from the bottom if you guys check out the closed guard video, okay? So we got a choke, we got an arm bar, we got a sweep, okay? We have a back take there, all from one grip, okay? So again, guys, these videos are really based upon one set position and how we're branching off in multiple different directions. We can use this same grip for guillotines, for other types of sweeps, for getting underneath our opponent's legs. But this is a really good place to start. And it's a real strong grip that can work for everybody. Just knowing how to use that grip, knowing how to position your hips, a little bit of practice will develop some good timing, and you guys will soon learn how to start to combo these moves together. So again, it's sweep, inverted arm bar, which means the hips drop back. If you lose the arm, it's an easy back take, and if your friend rather decide to let the arm fall, tries to posture up, right, that hand posted is going to be a nice easy open triangle, which again, you guys could check out that closed guard for more details on how to properly finish a triangle choke.